we have a couple ways that you can do this. We have tried to make this process a little bit easier for you. You will find this information on the postdoc office website. We'll send it out to you. Before I dive into that, I want to point back to this picture, though, because you actually see those three people on the right. That's Hannah, who is now our Career Development Office Program Manager. That is Rick, who I highlighted earlier, and that is Mark Lucera right there. So we didn't pick them for the other parts of the presentations for this. It just happened this was a picture we had of the PDA, and they happened to be in it. So one of the first things to do is to check out our PDO job board. So what we have here are posts from faculty who have said, you know what, I am open to talking about postdoc opportunities. I think one of the biggest challenges oftentimes is you don't know necessarily who's looking. And so it's on you, well, so-and-so knows my mentor, I was referred this way, but you only are connected to people who are already in your network. What we have on this job board is just notices from faculty who are saying, you know, I am open to talking about a postdoc. Here's what we do. Here's the kind of person that would be a good fit for our lab. So you can peruse those opportunities and contact faculty directly through that board. Some of those opportunities are actually linked to positions that are hiring right now too. So this is a place where you can find some of those opportunities where people are interested in having conversations with you. If you're currently on the market and you want to apply directly, all of our postdoc positions will be posted through CU Careers. So if you want to actually see what are the kinds of opportunities where people are actively hiring right now, you would find that through the CU Careers connection. And so doing a keyword search for postdoctoral, postdoc, selecting the Anschutz campus, this is where you would find all of those positions. So if you're saying, you know what, I'm ready to start putting in my applications, I want to start something in August or July or whatever, that would be the place where you would want to look. If you don't find anything there, though, we have a third option for you. And this is just what some of those would look like. We have a third option for you, and this is this postdoc inquiry link. And so here you actually can, you'll be connected to our database of faculty researchers. So you can identify who's doing what in your field in the area that you're interested in, and actually send them an email through this system. So this, again, is a way to help you make those connections where you can send a message up to 3 faculty members at a time. But again, it's also linked to Colorado Profiles, which is our database of all the different research areas that our faculty on campus have. So if you're interested in cognitive neuropsych, cognitive psychology, analysis, just to pick 2 random things out there, and you wanted to figure out who's doing that work, you could do that and then find those faculty and send them emails. So we're trying to make this really easy for you to find opportunities, to find faculty to do this matchmaking so you can figure out who's looking for opportunities and make that process easier. If you ever have questions, if you have questions about reaching out, if you have questions about individual faculty, that's why Aaron and I are here, is to support you in that process. We're happy to talk about things and help you no matter how we can to ensure that you're getting the right kind of fit and you're getting the information you need. So we'll send out this information as well at the end of today's session so that you have a link to the slides, but then also the direct links to some of these systems. And hopefully using these, you'll be able to identify some faculty who might be a good fit for you in the next steps in your own career. Okay, Aaron, I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, and now we really want to just open it up to questions. So you can use the Q&A feature. If you want to unmute and ask a question, that's okay too. But please ask questions of our faculty members, of Dr. Morris, of Bruce and I, whatever questions you have, we're here to answer.
So one question I'm going to start with, because it came into the Q&A, asking about, are there opportunities for postdocs to transition into faculty positions within the CU system after their postdoc? And so I'll start commenting. Faculty, please jump in as well. We have lots of examples of people who have transitioned from postdocs to regular tenure track faculty positions. So it absolutely happens both here at CU Anschutz, at Boulder, at some of the other institutions. But we also have a lot of postdocs who have gone into non-tenure track positions. So research series, folks who have identified, you know what, I'm really interested in just doing the research. I don't want to have service responsibilities. I don't want teaching responsibilities. One individual in particular thinking about really interested in commercialization and getting involved with the tech transfer office, moved into a research assistant professor line. So there are lots of opportunities to transition into faculty positions, whether it's instructor, research series, regular tenure track series. So those opportunities absolutely exist.
Great. Thank you, Bruce. I'm going to take the next question that came in. It says, it sounds like there's a lot of basic neuroscience work happening at CU. Are there centers and PIs focused on the cognitive neuroscience and neuropsychology level of analysis? Yes, definitely. I'm going to drop you a link. If any of the faculty want to hop in with an example, that's fine. Yeah.
Bruce, do you want to, or do you want me to?
You know, we can both take it. So from our perspective, we do not have a department of neuroscience. So neuroscience is distributed throughout many departments on campus, and I think that's a real strength to it. And so this ranges everywhere from cellular molecular neuroscience to systems neuroscience. And that's probably a good transition to Haida, because Haida's got perhaps one of the most incredible collections of synaptic biologists in the country in her department, I think.
Yes, actually, we I think at this point are really on the map for that. We're very well known. We speaking of recruiting, Bruce talked about recruiting a couple of faculty in his division. We have just recruited 2 new neuroscientists in the synaptic plasticity space who will be joining us. So one coming to us from Columbia and then Stanford, and the other now from Baylor. So we're pretty excited about that. We also have the vice chair of my department is the director of the Neurotechnology Center. So in addition, so while it is very distributed, like Bruce mentioned, and we cover all sorts of different areas from the all sorts of different neuroscience space, actually, from, you know, there's a hearing and taste and smell center to working on memory and learning to working on more of sort of the psychiatric ends of things and how certain drugs might affect that. The Neurotechnology Center is really there to support the technology that we need to do a lot of the types of studies that we do. So in the Neurotechnology Center, we have core facilities, we have a lot of equipment that people can access. That's big equipment that you might not be able to have in your own specific lab. So, you know, there's a lot of collaboration, I should say, between the different neuroscience groups within the different departments through things like the Neurotechnology Center. And I think there is a sort of drive to develop an institute. We don't have that yet in neuroscience, but there is work towards that.
That's great. Another great question that came in is it feasible to transition if we're interested in a lab that has research much different from what we're experts in? So what's kind of the grace period for learning new technology? So I'll let our faculty take that.
You mean as a postdoc to do something?
Transitioning.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a really great idea. Something that allows you to sort of move into a different area or extend your area that, you know, maybe from very basic research to something that's more translational. Yes, those are not only opportunities, but I think they're really strategic in many cases.
Absolutely. The breadth is great. I come from an era where you were expected to do something very different, and that's emphasized less now. But still, if you can bring a number of different perspectives to your research, that is going to be a real strength for you.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. It's a great thing to do, to move into a different space so that you have more different, you know, you get trained in more different skills and more in different areas that you can bring together. And honestly, research these days is so multidisciplinary that it's pretty important to think about spanning different areas. It's pretty hard to do just one niche area at this point. I think you have to think in a more broad way. So I would also
these are true. Yeah. And these are training positions. So the whole point is to give you new experiences and new skills.
Excellent. Bruce Apple, this next question is for you, because you mentioned that the Department of Pediatrics is one of the largest in the country, but you talked a lot about the basic science, and folks want to know about the behavioral scientists in children and adolescents that could be a good fit for the postdoc, some of the more clinical stuff.
Okay. So there's a lot of them. So there are training programs specific to those areas. I can't tell you, honestly, can't tell you a whole lot about that, but we have Children's Hospital right here on campus, as I think Bruce made that point. And we are, Bruce might have made this point too, and I was probably multitasking, but this is the largest medical research center between here and San Francisco and Chicago, something like this. So we have a huge catch basin, if you will, of patients, and that's certainly true for Children's Hospital. And they have a very large group of behavioral investigators there.
Yeah, I'll say that I just dropped some links in the chat, but we are one of the top children's hospitals in the country. Many opportunities.
And just to add one thing to that too, because there's another question about connections to Children's Colorado. So the way that our system works, all of our physicians are actually university employees. So all the physicians who staff Children's Hospital, who staff university, are actually university employees. And so those connections become very easy. There are postdocs at Children's. There are postdocs at the VA. And so there are other postdocs who are on the same campus who are not university employees, and we work routinely with those postdocs to get them connected to our postdoc association. So again, those opportunities, because we all are on that same campus, it makes the collaboration very easy.
And I want to point out also that we have a number of T32 programs that are also focused on training those clinician scientists. So if you're somebody here who's doing a medical degree or has that clinical background, there are opportunities here for you as well. There are two questions.
Sorry,
go
can
ahead,
I follow up on that real quickly? In the chat, that question says that the Department of Pediatrics is one of the largest in the country, but is mainly basic science. I think what Bruce was saying was his division is mainly basic science, but there are many divisions in that department, many of which do quite a bit of research, but more in the clinical translational space. So another example would be pediatric heme onc. That division, it has a lot of researchers, but they're working more in the translational space. So moving that into the clinic, moving their findings into the clinic. So the department is huge and has all levels of research, from the very basic to the very clinical.
Thank you, Heidi.
Another question I want to make sure we get to is for international scholars. So other than K99, what kind of funding are international scholars supported on in your labs?
I guess I'll jump in. That's largely going to be funding to the lab, to your mentor, and also, of course, the private foundation types of fellowships, like American Heart, are going to be available to international students.
Yeah, and I think Bruce Mant mentioned that we have an Office of International Scholar and Student Services that provide support to our international scholars. So you will not be alone in navigating that path. Another question I wanted to get to before we kind of wrap up here is the kind of teaching and lecturing opportunities for postdocs. As we mentioned, there's not undergrads on our campus, but there is the downtown campus close by. So Bruce Mant, do you want to speak to that, or to any of the other faculty speak to that?
Yeah. So that is one of those things that can be challenging. The Denver campus is always looking for postdocs to teach, and we have a number of folks who have gone and taught in the psychology department or the integrative biology department. So again, those opportunities, because we have those connections to the Denver campus are there, those opportunities do exist. Community College of Aurora is 5 minutes away. We have postdocs who have taught courses at CCA. So again, there are a lot of opportunities there. I will mention that we're in the process of putting in an ERACTA grant right now. And so this would formalize a number of different teaching opportunities where you actually could be part of that structured program. But even without that funding, we have had the opportunity to build structure and strengthen those connections, both with the Denver campus, but then MSU Denver, which is on the same Auraria higher education complex. So there are lots of opportunities there, but it would be up to you to identify that that's something you want to do. But we are definitely committed to helping you identify and find those opportunities and make the connections if that's something that you're interested in.
I would just add that we've had postdocs, in particular, I can think of 2 or 3 on the T32 that have taught courses either at Colorado College or at University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. And so those individuals are great resources to help connect to some of those institutions. I mean, obviously, if you're on a T32 or you're in a lab doing postdoc, you have to limit what you do, but it's certainly feasible to teach, to fill in for someone, on maternity leave or something and teach a course, and they've had very good experiences and in some cases led to jobs there. So.
Great. Well, keeping an eye on time, it is right about 12:30, so I don't want to make people stay on who have to go. I think Bruce and I are happy to stay on and answer questions for those who don't want to ask in front of the entire group. But Bruce, do you want to share that slide again that has our contact info?
How about you drop it into the chat, Erin, and I'll just make a closing remark, which really appreciate everybody's time, both the attendees today, but the panelists. And as I said in the beginning, our goal is to start a conversation. So we hope this is information for you to think about, that you're not considering Anschutz as really a destination to do your training. And as those questions come up, please reach out to us. This is why we're here. We're here to support you from the time you come in to the time you move on to whatever it is that you do. I hope you have a better idea of who we are as a campus and what those opportunities hold for you. And we look forward to hearing from you in the future. So again, we will send out information to everybody who registered and attended today. And if anything comes up, please just reach out and let us know. So thanks, everybody, and we wish you luck with all of your future career aspirations.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks all.
Thank you.